Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Mechanical Engineering Made Easy with Neha Mishra, because it is actually easy. So guys, in the last video we have studied about the basic concept and physical meaning of equilibrium. We have also studied the effect of active and reactive forces to keep any body in equilibrium. Okay, so in this video we will study about the active forces. So keep watching till the end. Also, there's a fun element at the end which will definitely refresh your mind and will brighten up your day. So guys, let's get started. So guys, in the last video we have studied about the basic concept of equilibrium by taking an example of this rod. So if any one of you haven't watched that video yet, you can click on this icon button and you can watch it. So guys, we have seen that the force of this rod is fixed, that is 5 Newton. Okay? If we keep it in equilibrium, the force which is acting on this rod is its own weight, which is 5 Newton downwards, and reaction force which my hands are giving. So when only one rod is acting, it gives 5 Newton force downwards, whereas my hands give 5 Newton force upwards to balance this force or to keep this rod in equilibrium. Again, if I'll apply this 2 rod, what will happen? Now 10 Newton force will act downwards and 10 Newton force will be given by my hands to keep these rods in equilibrium. So understood guys, the weight force is fixed, which is causing the motion, but the force which my hands are giving are not fixed. When I keep only one rod, my hands are giving 5 Newton force upwards, and when I keep 2 rods, my hands are giving 10 Newton force to keep these rods in equilibrium. So the weight force of this rod is constant, that is 5 Newton. So these are the active forces. So guys, what is the difference between active forces and reactive forces? The active forces are one whose value is fixed, that is 5 Newton for this case. Also, active forces are one which causes the motion. So because of this rod, because of the weight of this rod is moving downwards. So active forces are fixed and the ones which cause the motion, while reactive force are the one whose forces are not fixed and it depends upon the active forces. Accordingly, reactive force will act. Understood guys? So reactive forces are not fixed, it depends upon the active forces. Also, reactive force comes as in reaction to this action force. So guys, understood the difference? Active force causes the motion, while reactive force give the reaction to this active force. Okay? And active forces are always fixed, reactive forces are not fixed and depends upon the active forces. So in this video we will study about all the types of active forces which causes motion of any object. Okay? So the very first type is point load. So basically there are 3 types of active forces: point load, uniformly distributed load and uniformly varying load. So let's study about all these 3 types of active forces one by one. Point load is a load or a force which acts at any particular point on an object and causes it to move. For example, this is an object and at this particular point I have my this point load. So at this particular point, this point load is acting such that when this point load acts at this particular point, this rod will move downwards. Remember guys, active force always causes motion to an object. So when this point load is acting at particular point on this object, it will cause this rod to move. So guys, when this active force, or you may call it as a point load, will act at any particular point on this object, it will cause action in the form of motion of this object, to which my hands will give reaction or reactive force. Understood guys? So point load is simply a load which acts at any particular point on this object. So let us take one diagram to understand this. So suppose this was an rod which we had taken, and this was the point load that was acting. Okay? This point load or the active force causes action on this object to move it in downward direction, to which reaction is given by my hands, such that reactive forces are acting at the edges to balance this rod and keep it in equilibrium. Understood, guys? So any force which act at any particular point on any object, it is called as point load. So there must be some value of this load, suppose 5 Newton, 6 Newton, 7 Newton. Okay, all these are point load. Even this reaction force is also acting at some particular point. So these are also actually point load. Understood, guys? Now let us quickly study about the next type of active force, which is uniformly distributed load. So guys, the second type of force or load which comes under active force is uniformly distributed load. Now what it means, let us understand by taking an example. Suppose this is an object, and suppose this is the load which is acting on this object. So guys, see here, weight of this load is uniformly distributed over the length of this rod. What it means, suppose we take only this much portion of this load. Suppose this is 2 meters and the weight of only this much portion is suppose 2 Newton. Again, if I take 2 meters, the weight of this much portion has to be same as it was here. So force or the weight force of again 2 meter will be 2 Newton. Again, if I take 2 meter from here, again the weight of only this much portion will be 2 Newton. Understood, guys? The weight at all the intervals are equally distributed. Guys, now suppose we have this another load. Okay, instead of this load, now this load is acting on this rod. Now see, is this rod uniformly distributed over this block? Yes, the weight of this much portion will not be equal to the weight of this much portion. Yes, because the area is not same. Yes, so obviously the weight will not be same. So this is not the uniformly distributed load. Whereas this is definitely a uniformly distributed load, because at each equal interval the weight force is equal. So this is called as UDL or uniformly distributed load. Now let us understand this in a better way by plotting this on a paper. Okay. So this was our block, yes, and here was the UDL or uniformly distributed load, and when I apply my hands, they give this reactive force at the edges. Now see, we have seen that for each interval the forces were equal. Means what? Suppose the force here was 2 Newton, for each interval it was 2 Newton only. Okay? So guys, the very important step here is we can convert this UDL, uniformly distributed load, into a single point load. And how we can do that? Just see here. Suppose this load was acting over 2 meter. Okay, this load was acting over 2 meter of the block. So you can convert this UDL into a single point load over here. Now guys, two things are very important to convert UDL into single point load. How much will be the force magnitude and where will it act? Okay, now we have converted into single force. Okay, we have converted all these forces into single force, but where it will act such that it will give the same effect as this UDL is giving? and how much will be the magnitude such that it will give the same effect. So the magnitude is, remember that the magnitude is the single load into distance across which it is acting. So here it is 2, so 2 into 2. So our force now acting is 4 Newton. And where it is acting? Yes, since it is uniformly distributed, it will act at the center of this 2 meters. So here will be 1 meter and again here will be 1 meter. So see guys, not at the center of this block, but at the center of the place where this load is acting. Suppose this was 3 meters, so this will be 1.5, 1.5. Okay? Not the center of the block, but the center of the place where this load is acting. So this is very important. So we found F and we found X where it acts. So guys, let us take this example wherein our UDL is not acting at the center, but it is acting at an offset to the center. So in this case, the UDL value is given as 5 Newton per meter. See guys, this is not the value of load, but value of load per meter. Means what? At each and every 1 meter, 5 Newton force is applied. See, let us understand this by taking one more diagram. So suppose at each 1 meter interval 5 Newton is applied. Understood guys, meaning of this? So while converting it into a point load, what will be its value? See, first of all we will make the same block as it is. Okay, we will take the distance before this block and after this block as it is. So this is 2 meters and from here it is 8 meters. Now between this portion we will convert this UDL into point load. But where it will act? Yes, since this is UDL uniformly distributed, it will act at the center where this block is acting. So at the center of this 6 meters means this will be 3 meters and again this will be 3 meters. Now one more thing, what will be the magnitude of the force with which it will act? Yes, it will act with this force multiplied by the length across which it is acting. So 5 Newton multiplied by this length, which is 6 meters. So force per meter into the meter. So this meter will get cancelled. So 5 into 6 means 30 Newton force. 30 Newton of point load will act at 5 meters from this end over this block. Understood guys? Now we have converted this UDL to this point load with magnitude 30 Newton and acting at this much distance. Understood guys how simple it is to convert UDL into point load? Two things are very important that we have to pay attention here is, first is the magnitude. What it will be? It will be force per unit meter which it is given multiplied by the length over which it is acting. Yes, so it will be 30 Newton. What we have actually done? We have actually converted force by meter and we have multiplied it by the length across which it is acting, means again meter, so we got force. And second most important thing is where it is acting. Okay, the position where it is acting, and where it acts at the center where your UDL is acting. If it is acting at 6 meters, so at the center of this 6 meter it will act. Okay, remember guys, not at the center of this block but at the center of the surface where this UDL is acting. Okay guys, so guys, till now we have studied about point load and we have also understood about uniformly distributed load and how to convert this into point load. Now we will study about uniformly varying load and we will study how to convert this load into point load. Now guys, before understanding what is uniformly varying load, we must have clear idea about what is the difference between varying load and uniformly varying load. So see guys, if there's an object of this shape, okay, and there's another object of this shape. Now what is the difference between both these shapes? See, for this, at every interval, okay, at every equal interval, we have different weight distribution. Suppose over this area 5 Newton forces acting, so in again over this area 10 Newton forces acting. Now again over this area suppose 9 Newton forces acting, okay. Again at the last area suppose 4 Newton forces acting, okay. While if you consider this example at equal interval, okay, at equal interval, what will be the force acting? So see guys, suppose this is 10 Newton, okay. So this will be your 8 Newton, this will be your 6 Newton, similarly this will be 4 Newton, okay. Now what is happening here is the load is getting decreased uniformly by 2 Newton at each equal interval. Understood guys? So this is uniformly varying. At each interval it is varying uniformly, while in this example it is varying haphazardly. Understood guys? Difference between uniformly varying load and varying load. So this is the example of UVL, okay, uniformly varying load. If at all there's a load of this type, for example wedge, so it is uniformly varying load, while this is not an uniformly varying load, okay. So now let us take an example of the block, okay. Suppose we have got the same block, and on this block, suppose this is the wedge, okay, and it is applied on this block. So because of this wedge, what will happen? This block will move downwards, and if I'll apply my hands here, yes, they will give the reaction to this active force and it will be in equilibrium. So such type of weight distribution acting on this block is called as uniformly varying load. Yes. So now let us study how to convert this uniformly varying load into point load. Just like how we converted UDL, uniformly distributed load, into point load, we can also convert uniformly varying load into point load. Now see guys, suppose there's a UVL, okay, acting over here. Acting over here means what? They are applying force here with varying intensity, okay. So suppose value of force intensity at this particular edge is given as 2 Newton per meter, okay, and the distribution of this load is acting over the length of suppose 6 meters, okay. This is 2 meters and this is 3 meters. Now how we will convert this load into a single point load as we have seen in UDL. So for that, let us see how to proceed. So same as UDL, we will mark before and after the load length as it is, okay. So this will be your 3 meters, again this will be your 2 meters. Now this UVL will act somewhere here, the point load of this UVL will act somewhere here, okay. Now how to convert? See, this 2 Newton per meter means this value is this value. Now see guys, if we take right angle triangle, yes, the centroid will be where? If this is the 90 degree, okay, this angle is 90 and this is your H. So from this 90 degree, H by 3 will be your centroid. So at the centroid, your point load of this UVL will act. Yes. So see guys, if this is 6 meters, your H is 6 meters. So where the point load of this UVL will act? H by 3 from the 90 degree. So 6 by 3 is how much? 2 meters. And where it will act? From the 90 degree. This is also very important. Not from here, it is from this point. So from here, how much is the distance? 2 meters. Where this point load will act, okay, which will give the same effect as this hole. And again, this value will be how much? This full is 6, 2 meters is here, so this will be 4 meters. So our first step is done. Where it is acting? Yes, location we have found. Now second thing for UVL is again magnitude. What will be the magnitude value? For UDL guys, what it was? The force per meter into the length. Yes, but for here, what is the area of triangle? Half into base into height. So that will be the magnitude of this force. Very simple guys. Half into base. What is the base? Yes, 6 meter. The length across which it is acting, and the height, the highest value of the intensity of the force. Okay, this is 2 Newton per meter. So what it is coming as? How much it is coming as? 6 Newton. Okay, so the value will be 6 Newton and it will be acting at H by 3 from this 90 degree. So guys, I'll tell you once again how we calculated this magnitude. The simple formula is for UVL, half into base into height. So for this case, yes, it will be half into how much is your base? 6 meters. Okay, and how much is your height? 2 Newton per meter. Remember guys, always you have to take force per unit length value, not just force but intensity of force per unit length. So your height is 2 Newton per meter. Now see guys, meter gets cancelled. This 2 get cancelled. So your magnitude comes as 6 Newton. Understood guys? Very simple. Just half into base into height, we will get its magnitude, and where it will act? From H by 3 from this 90 degree point. Not from here, but from this edge. H by 3. And what is your H? This 6 meters. Okay? So guys, in the next video, we will take few examples of all these 3 types of active force, and we will see how easy it is to solve such type of problem. So friends, So guys, in the last video, we have studied concept of equilibrium. Active forces are one whose value is fixed, that is finite.
Center fruit, kaisi jeeb laba babai.
How much active force we apply? Accordingly, reactive force will. Accordingly, reactive force will. जल्दी बोलो ना.
Have you ever had a dream that you want him to do you so much you could do anything?
Now suppose this pen is applying force. Now suppose this pen is this point load is applying. कहाँ तक बोला था यार? क्या बोलना है? दूसरा रुको ना.
रुको जरा, सब्र करो.
मजा आया, और मैं ये जो मजा है हिंदुस्तान के हर व्यक्ति को देना चाहता हूँ.
If you have gained any information or knowledge through this video, do like, share, subscribe and comment. Thank you.